curriculum-wise, I prefer how UGM does it.
Pendidikan lebih dari sekedar transfer pengetahuan. Di era global ini, pendidikan merupakan jembatan antar budaya, sebuah instrumen diplomasi yang tidak terlihat. Kelompok kami melakukan penelitian untuk menguak pertanyaan kunci ini. Apakah sistem pendidikan Indonesia dapat menjadi soft power yang memengaruhi global norm?
Soft power adalah kemampuan suatu negara untuk mempengaruhi perilaku negara lain melalui daya tarik, seperti membangun hubungan atau ikatan yang erat melalui karisma, komunikasi yang persuasif, daya tarik ideologi visioner, serta pengaruh budaya, sehingga membuat negara lain terpengaruh, bukan dengan cara paksaan ataupun kekerasan sekalipun.
Can I ask you guys, what's your purpose of coming to Indonesia?
We're here for a subject for 4 days, post-conflict justice.
Same thing.
Is because in my school, so far as I know, the only school that was in Colorado, they offered a chance to go to Indonesia, and I believe Indonesia is a unique experience for education. I've heard many good things about it. I met people from Indonesia talking about how there's a couple schools that were actually prestigious, and this is one of them in UGM. And plus, I'm familiar with the Indonesian culture. I have family from Indonesia, so I wanted to get more of experience, not just from education, but also the culture, and I found this to be the perfect opportunity.
Do you have any expectation going to Indonesia?
Nothing too crazy, but expectations for specifically Indonesia itself. Of course, I expected to have a culture shock in some ways. I've been to Indonesia before, but not to an extent of this length. This is the longest I've been here. I've learned a lot. I learned just the culture aspects of the people and the language, and it was very interesting so far. My expectations for the school was going to be different. I know this was a different country. I know the curriculum will be a little bit different from what I experienced in the U.S. I've experienced differences and similarities, but so far my expectations were what I just met, and I'm happy I expected them so far.
I don't know. I think we didn't think the people would not be friendly, but the students have been very welcoming of us. That's been really lovely, and very vocal and happy to learn. Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I didn't have a lot of expectations. I wanted to just come with a fresh mind and learn when I get here. Yeah.
So you guys don't have any expectation specifically on the education itself?
I think we would still expect it to be to a high standard.
Yes, absolutely. And it has been at the standard that we thought. We have a teacher, Dia, who's excellent. We really like her.
Really good.
Yeah.
What is your impression on the education,
At least in our subject, everyone is extremely intelligent. I'd say the teacher herself, she's also very down to earth and very normal, and so we could relate to her a lot. It matches Australian culture in a way. Australians tend to be quite laid back and a bit relaxed, kind of, and we were maybe a bit worried that it might not be the same, a bit different or something. But I feel like we've had a really good experience so far of matching that energy.
Can you compare a little bit about the first impression that you have here in UGM and the first impression that you had in your school back in America?
Sure thing. So what I experienced, I guess my first thing that I thought of when I walked into this school was the atmosphere. The atmosphere is so different from the school I go to in the U.S. Architecture-wise, the buildings are completely different. The way it's set up is different. The classes are built similar, but the curriculum is very different. So I noticed that my schedule is a lot more different, how it's set up versus the U.S. In the U.S., it's all pretty much very similar. But in here, I think the biggest takeaway was just how the classes are set up within my schedule. It's so different. I wouldn't say I have more free time, but it's just more days I have to work. And there's a lot more independent studies going on in here. In the U.S., for an example, I have 4 classes here, once a week for each of them. So I have 4 classes for 1 week. In the U.S., if I have one class, they're either 2 days a week or 3 times a week. So that was the biggest difference I experienced so far.
I think it's maybe a bit more formal. at least we're from the University of Melbourne in the law faculty, and the buildings are very serious. The teaching staff can be sometimes not, sometimes they're good too, but they can be very serious. So I think I've noticed people are a bit more relaxed here. But we only have experience with one tutor.
I don't know about the other tutors.
We can't say about the whole course.
Maybe it's different. I agree. Yeah.
So, do you think that there are any similarities on the education system back home and here?
I think we've talked to some of the students, and they, like us, we did an undergraduate degree, and now we're doing like a master's. And the students we're studying with have done the same, a bachelor's, and now they're doing a master's. So structurally, it looks similar.
In the subject we're doing, I still think what's similar is that there is critical thinking with the students. I was maybe worried that might not be the case, but so far we've seen everyone is quite critical of the content that we're learning and coming with their own perspectives.
So you think that the people here are very critical on the subject that they're learning?
Not like super, but like
not in a bad way.
I know.
Good. Critical thinking skills are well developed. Similar to us, it's sort of.
And we have the same in Australia.
Same background.
I mean, I think there's more familiarity than differences. So something that I found that's more similar was how's the classes set up, like the interior of the curriculum, how we go to class, we're lectured, or when we talk about it, the homework, tests, those are all similar. Those are mostly what the similar stuff is. Like I said, the differences are just mostly like the schedule of it.
Okay. So, you can be completely honest in this question. If you were to choose, which system do you prefer back in America or the one that Indonesia adopt, UGM adopt, which one would you say that you prefer?
Okay, honest take. So, curriculum-wise, I prefer how UGM does it. But environment-wise, I like how in the US is. But I like how it's set up here in this school. I have more time to actually focus on the studies and the tests and the projects. In the US, it's very condensed. But I like the environment there, the atmosphere, just because I grew up there.
Nice.
That's just what I'm used to. I like it here, but I prefer studying over there. But curriculum-wise, I like it here.
So you like how the curriculum in Indonesia is slightly more laid back,
Yeah, it's in a way it's more laid back, but in a way we have more. It's more reliant on us more than just what the teachers want.
Really fair. We've only been here.
I don't think we can answer. But everyone here is very lovely.
Yeah, so
and we're enjoying it anyway. Yeah.
All right, so this is almost the last question. What do you think of the education facilities here? Like the organization or maybe the facilities that is around us,
We haven't explored a whole lot. We're about to have lunch for the first time, so we like to see things like that. But it seems well equipped.
It seems really communal.
Oh yeah,
I like that
a little
about it.
village.
Yeah.
It seems,
Whereas in our uni's in the city of Melbourne, so people don't stay on campus. They sometimes go outside and they go to different places further out. So it's
less of a meeting place. Here it seems like people are together.
And I think you guys have classes from morning till late afternoon or something like that.
sometimes.
Yeah. So for us, it's maybe 1 or 2 classes a day. If that, and so you just quickly go do your class. Sometimes you just go home.
Oh, I see.
Oh no, they're great. I mean, I checked out the library before. Great place, the free water, like you mentioned. The canteens here, it's extremely similar to US. So I like it. There's no differences. I don't see anything wrong with them. Like I said, just a different atmosphere. That's all.
Do you see any potential that the education system that Indonesians are using can be adopted in other countries?
Well, I see some potential if it actually gets the word out. I mean, I know every country is going to be different, but I'm hoping, I would like to, if my school adopts the way it's set up schedule-wise for classes from here to there, I think I can tell you, guarantee 90% of students there would like it the way it's here. Over there, it's just a little bit too much. It's unnecessary. These classes, I think once a week or even twice a week for one class is necessary. But doing the same class 2 to 3 times a week is unnecessary how we do it over there. So that's why I would hope.
to be honest, I haven't seen many aspects that are different to what we have at home.
Yeah, it's quite similar. So
It seems similar, so I feel like I can't answer because I don't know what is different.
we don't know about the other departments as well. Like maybe different departments might be different.
Melalui lensa teori liberalisme, setiap negara memiliki soft power uniknya. Bagi Indonesia, sistem pendidikan berpotensi menjadi instrumen diplomasi yang powerful, bukan sekedar transfer ilmu, melainkan pertukaran nilai, perspektif, dan cara pandang. Namun, potensi ini masih terbatas. Dari penelitian kami, hanya sedikit universitas di Indonesia yang mampu menjalin kerjasama internasional secara mendalam. Kurikulum kita belum sepenuhnya menjadi role model global, tetapi memiliki keunikan yang patut dibanggakan.
Paradoks terbesar yang kami temukan adalah bahwa pelajar asing sebenarnya lebih tertarik pada budaya alih-alih sistem pendidikan. Mereka tidak memiliki ekspektasi yang tinggi terhadap pendidikan di Indonesia. Namun ternyata mereka kagum dengan pendekatan kolektif kita. Kesenjangan antara universitas di dalam negeri dan luar negeri memang nyata. Sistem pendidikan kita cenderung mengadopsi, bukan menciptakan. Dalam keterbatasan tersebut, kami melihat adanya potensi untuk bertransformasi menjadi pionir sistem pendidikan global.
Penelitian ini membuka mata kami. Aktor non-negara seperti kurikulum memberi peran diplomasi yang seringkali terabaikan. Setiap ruang kuliah adalah miniatur hubungan internasional. Setiap interaksi antar budaya adalah negosiasi soft power. Kami belajar bahwa kekuatan sesungguhnya bukan terletak pada standarisasi, melainkan pada kemampuan memahami dan menghargai perbedaan.